This is John with Soundcrave Magazine, and I am here with John Sherman and Aaron Bean from Red Fang. Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Good to be here. How was the drive out? I understand it was very something of an ordeal.
It was a little longer than we were expecting, and we got accosted by the Homeland Security people. They were strip searching us, and they found a lot of stuff. But it was fine.
That's what they do.
It was pretty quick because our cavities are ready for the searching. Yeah, wide and shallow.
Shallow cavities for rock and roll. Well, awesome. Is this your first time playing in New Mexico or playing in Albuquerque?
No, it is our fourth or fifth time. I'm not sure. I think we played here at the Launchpad 2 other times before, and we also played at the Mayhem Festival up in the mountains somewhere. That was the day that J-Fo had the fill-in drummer that came down, who was on tour from a band in Denver or something. But yeah, that show was actually really good. That Mayhem Albuquerque up in the mountains was really fun. So we'll see how tonight goes. It's
Great.
going to be a good one.
Should be really good because you guys are here on tour. You've been on tour about a week now promoting the new album, right? Whales and Leeches. How's the response been from everybody so far?
I think some surprise and a little disgust, and I'm not really sure what else. Maybe John can answer this one.
What? Don't pull too hard.
Yeah, it's. I think the response has been pretty good so far. What is this? The fourth show?
This will be the fifth show.
Fifth show. So the last 4 shows have been fantastic, and we're playing some new stuff off the new record. And so yeah.
Well, I know.
I guess I can't answer that.
What else can you hope for? Well, I know you've actually been giving your fans a sneak preview because you had your beer drinking game online for a couple of weeks now.
All right.
And how has that been going? Getting some real beer drinking champions out of that?
I have no idea. Aaron?
I don't know either. I played it once, and it's pretty hard. I didn't get exactly how it was supposed to work, so hopefully younger people who understand computers better know what they're supposed to be doing. But yeah, we're trying to figure out touring plans and didn't necessarily know what the release date was going to be, so we booked it around the release date. Luckily, we got a stack of records in time to bring with us on this trip, so playing some new songs and telling people, hey, guess what, you can get it earlier than the release date.
That's right, because it doesn't release until Wednesday, the 15th.
Yeah.
Tuesday
Tuesday
the
to
15th.
Wednesday.
All records come out on Tuesday.
That's
true.
right, they do.
Yep.
I
All
think
records.
I think new video releases come out on Tuesdays as well.
I think that's right. Although, I think that the release dates in Europe are different than the ones in the U.S. Yes,
The metric dates.
Right.
I think that's 8 days a week.
Yeah, and in China and the Middle East, they use their different calendars, so it's not it's in a different year, actually, that it comes out.
Next year in the Far East.
Right.
Well, as a band, I think you're known for really touring. You seem to be touring a lot. How do you find time during your touring schedule to write new music, or is it something that you have to do on your off times?
Exactly. We don't find time to write while we're touring. We can only write when we're home. So far, at least. That's we haven't figured out how to write on the road yet. So yeah, this last record we were home for 3 months in between the Soundwave tour in Australia and a big European tour, and we used every second of every day of those 3 months, almost every second, writing and stressing. It was a very stressful situation, but I'm very pleased with the outcome.
As I understand from things I've read about you, does it seem that one of the reasons this process goes so well is you seem to have found a happy home with Relapse Records. They've got locations in Portland now, and you've got, if memory serves, you've got a 3-record deal with them, and so you're like right in the middle of a relationship with them.
Yeah, it's nice having those guys in our hometown. We can run into them socially at the bar or whatever, and just hang out and be friendly, not necessarily like, oh, there's the guys from the label. They don't have suits and ties on or anything. They're just normal guys. So it's pretty casual relationship. that works for us.
Is that sort of a reflection of the whole Portland music scene? And I'm also wondering if you would tell us a little bit about what the Portland music scene is for those of us here in the Great Southwest and from parts beyond.
The Portland music scene is somewhat of a mystery to me these days because we're hardly ever home. So every time we're home, I find out about a new band that is like blowing minds that I didn't know about. But here, you tell them.
Okay. Echoing what John said, I mean, it's also part of being, I think, a little bit older and spending more time at home when we're not touring. I don't know what's going on, but I can tell that there's a lot of bands in Portland. And I'm going to start listing some of them that I know. Gatheist, Hungry Ghost, Lord Dying, Rabbits. There's a new band that I just discovered called Magic Mouth, who are really awesome. They're kind of like gossip, sort of like style. Drunk Dad, they're right down the hall from us in the practice space. Gossip actually practiced right next door to us. Danaba. Sons of Huns, Diesto. There's just, mostly we're listing like heavy bands, but there's many, many different styles. Oh, yeah.
They played that during the Angel's Dead video.
Shoot. They played during that.
Rifle.
Oh, Wizard Rifle. Yeah, Wizard Rifle. Those guys are great.
Awesome.
But yeah, there's just like, and there's a million different scenes that we know nothing about because a lot of people, Portland is a destination. Because there's so much going on there artistically with, not just music, but a bunch of different stuff, and it seems like everybody and their brother has at least 2 bands, so the scene is just, it's like an explosion.
Well, that's great.
Of stuff.
Your answer makes me think 2 other questions I wanted to put to you, too.
Okay.
When I think Red Fang, to me, I think of rock and roll band. But it seems like all the buzz and the question that I always hear people asking all kinds of bands is about metal. What kind of metal band are you? Is there still room for rock and roll in a metal-infused world these days?
Apparently.
I guess so, because we don't really consider ourselves a metal band. We consider ourselves a rock and roll band, like heavy rock band, I guess. So if the metal community will have us, then fucking great. Thanks a lot.
I read that in your background. Some of you came from what you've described as math rock bands.
Oh, yeah.
So it seems you come in, and I'm going to ask you to describe that a little bit, but it seems like you come from an even less metal background into a niche where people maybe want to buttonhole you as some sort of metal band.
Yeah, we all came from, or grew up playing in bands that were really mathy and...
Which is like a progressive sort of band, a lot of timing changes, chord changes,
right.
Complex rhythms.
And this is our, we just kind of wanted to dumb it down, keep it simple, stupid kind of thing. Just play songs that were just fun to play and fun to listen to, and not worry about throwing every trick that you know into every song.
Right.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you sort of described math rock. I think that we all played in bands that essentially were instrumental and had way too many parts, and those parts were way more complicated than they needed to be, and were probably more difficult than even we could really pull off. I think because we felt like, at least I personally felt like, I wasn't really challenging myself, or I was getting, I would get bored of a part, and I was worried that somebody listening to the song would be like, God, that part's going on for like a second and a half. I can't deal with this. I needed to change. So we just, we all kind of came to the same realization at the same time, like John was saying, that the music that made us want to play in bands in the first place wasn't like that. And how we ended up playing that style, who knows? It was just in the air, I guess, because it was happening all over the country. But as far as like changing the subject a little bit, going back to that previous question, as far as us being rock or metal, I mean, Yeah, I mean, definitely there's a lot of songs you could very easily classify as metal, especially if you take as metal things like Black Sabbath and, music kind of throughout the 80s and maybe into the 90s. We definitely have similarities to that kind of music. I think it's just more contemporary metal that's a lot more technical and kind of based on, like, digital recording, perfection and stuff like that. We just don't have any of that kind of aspiration, or that's just not what we do at all. Yeah, we're technically unproficient, so that's what we just say. We're rock.
Slop rock. We have now coined the term for Red Fang.
Yeah.
Slop rock.
We're modern, right? We're modern grunge or something. We're contemporary grunge, or.
That term has such a negative connotation because that's probably the most accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it became very mainstream, and now grunge is something nobody really wants to identify with.
No. Or what was the thing you said? Pacific Northwest, classic Northwest street metal. I think it's.
That sounds really good.
But yeah, I mean, it's like, what's that band? The Locusts made up their own genre. They called themselves Power Violence. We just heard about a band today. I don't know what they're called. But they call themselves Vegan Hate Edge Power Violence, which I think. No, I don't either, but I think it's. But I love that genre name, though. I think it's hilarious. That's one of the stupid things about metal. People are just way too obsessed with specific, like, little teeny buckets, or
doom metal, sludge
what
metal,
category
stoner
it is.
metal.
Just listen to it. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, I don't care.
And Black Sabbath never considered themselves metal. They considered themselves a band, and metal is what they were labeled after that.
So, end of story. Thank you, everybody, for ceasing to categorize heavy metal music. I appreciate it.
Another question I had, based on an answer you'd given a little bit earlier, is I think one of the reasons a lot of people know about you on the mainstream is because you've got really great music videos from Whitey McConaughey, I believe, who's a friend of yours from Portland from way back.
Yep.
Is that a trap that you can fall into, that you have very recognizable and very entertaining videos, and maybe it takes away from people's appreciation of the music itself?
No, I don't think so at all. I think it gets people to the shows. I think there's no way in hell that we would have been able to go to Moscow and play to, a packed house without having an entertaining video on the internet. If this band, who knows what would have happened if we were around, before the age of YouTube and stuff. But I think it's an extremely useful promotional tool, and I don't know. You can't stop people from thinking whatever they're going to think. We want to make a funny video. We want to write songs that we like to write that aren't funny. I don't think that you can't do both. I don't know why you can't. I don't know. Videos should be funny. Yeah. Or they're boring. In my mind. I mean, we're total goofballs until we start playing music.
Yeah.
Then it's like totally different, Like even right on stage, you might see us joking around until right when we start playing. Then it's all.
And then the fun and games.
Yeah. Then there's no smiles.
It's no more
we're
fun.
smiling because it's fun to do, but it's it's not. We're not a joke band.
No.
We're not writing Weird Al songs. Although I do like Weird Al, but yeah, we don't jump on trampolines. We should get some though. Eagle boxes and trampolines.
After one show.
Do you have some videos planned to promote Whales and Leeches?
Yeah, we started shooting another video with Whitey, and then we couldn't finish before we went on this tour, so we will finish. Hopefully, in between this leg and the next U.S. leg, we'll finish, and I can't tell you specifically when it's going to be out, but hopefully soon.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to let that be the last word because you had a long, hellacious drive and you got to get ready for the show. I want to thank you so much for taking some time to talk to us.
Of course.
Red Fang, enjoy the new album coming out October 15th.
Yep.
And for Sound Crate Magazine, I'm John. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much.
Goodbye.